Hello, my name is Collection Connoisseur. I collect digital thingamabobs in video games, and today I will be playing a blind speedrun of Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Let me first describe what I mean by a blind speedrun. I have played through this game twice, but I have never watched anyone else play or speedrun this game. I know none of the tips, tricks, glitches, exploits, sequence breaks, or skips that other players might use when speedrunning this game. I've created the route I'm going to take myself, and we'll see how fast I can go through it. What you are watching is a summary of that speedrun. If you'd rather watch the entire live streamed run, there should be a link in the upper right hand corner now that you can click to see it. Or look for the link in this video's description. Let's get this party started. So we're starting a new one on easy. Now, I've never played on easy before. I've only ever played this game on hard. So I don't actually know what the difficulty changes are. The description of the difficulty changes don't really tell you what changes in those difficulty levels. So I'm going to find out maybe as I go. Let's go. And I will start my timer. Now, I do know that you can skip cutscenes, but I don't know all of the cutscenes that you can skip, because you can't skip everything. For example, you can't skip this one. Starting off, the first thing we really want to do is defeat Howl. I will be going for some of these spirit-like containers early on, and that's because I really want to buy one of the abilities that you can get. The spike ability. I really want that spike ability. Actually, there's one right there. Let's get that too. I don't know how much spike costs when you buy it from Talk the first time, but I do know that I want it. So we're going to do what we can to afford it when we get there. Now these enemies right here, they are my most hated enemies on hard. They still hit me on easy, but they didn't hit me for much damage. Oh right, and we lost our fire stick because of the water. I don't need that Kwolok ore. I am going to get one Kwolok ore, but we're going to get one that's a little bit easier to find, or easier to collect. The first section is just running. You learn in the second section that Howl doesn't actually do that much damage, so why did you need to run so fast in the first section? But I guess you did. Hit him in the face. Oh, wow. So I do a lot more damage to Howl. Oh my gosh. That took 4 hits? Alright. That's one difference on easy. This, I believe, is one of those cutscenes that we cannot skip. Oh. We can skip it. Skip it. Go. Now, let's assign Spirit Edge to my favorite Y button. And I actually have in my notes to get the magnet shard up here, because you gotta have some money. No! The easiest enemy in the game messed me up again. Those tiny little purple blob enemies have been the biggest problem thus far. Alright, magnet. Now, put magnet on, then we can get spirit light without actually going over to it. And we get double jump. So we've already gotten Spirit Edge and Double Jump. There is a shard above us. That shard is sticky, I don't even like that shard when I'm not trying to go fast. Sticky is just a weird shard in my opinion. Now, there are lots of things to break on the way up, but there's a fair amount of collectibles that I really don't care about in the speedrun. I care about them, you know, all the time because I like collecting them, but there's a lot of them that we don't actually need during the speedrun. So I'm going to be skipping a lot of them. I've written down the ones I think are most important to us, which are energy cells and life cells. Life cells might not be that important, but energy cells are, because energy cells allow us to use spike more. But here's a nice little life cell. I need to go down here. Here we go, the next ability, Regenerate. Regenerate is an excellent ability to have. I'm immediately going to assign it and probably not take it off until much later in the game. And here we go. Let's hope we collected enough Spirit Light so that we can afford Spike right now. We meet Shriek for the first time. There's Shriek. Back when I first played this game, I thought Howl and Shriek would be somewhat equal in terms of bosses. They are not. Howl is not even a boss that you fight again. Alright, we can buy Spike, which is excellent. Actually got a little bit more Spirit Light than I needed. Wonderful. Another ability. This Spirit Bow. We need that right now, so we're going to assign it. I skipped the opening cutscene by pressing start and telling it to skip the cutscene. So by the way, I got that energy cell fragment. That is one of the... oh gosh. Whoops, miss. That is one of the easier to get energy cell fragments, and energy cell fragments is one of the things that I think is most important to get in a speedrun. And that's because you want to use Spike as often as you can, which means you need energy. Here we go for Dash. Dash is an important ability when you are trying to go fast. Another great ability, one that we need to use immediately. I paused there for a second because I wanted to look at what the button was before I just died. And our first Spirit Well. Spirit Wells are very nice because they allow you to teleport. In my first run, I immediately bought the fast travel ability. And unfortunately, we don't get to do that in this run. Buying the fast travel ability is not something that I'm probably going to do. Just because I'm not going to go past the one that sells it to you, Ophir, at the point that he's going to sell it to me. Alright, let's see how easy this is on easy. For defeating this enemy, you get the Take the Bug by the Horn achievement, which I find really funny because that's not what you do in this battle. At no point do you take this bug by the horn. Oh, almost got him. Got him. And then the Machis let us pass. Apparently, this was a test by the Machis. The Machis set that enemy up for us to determine whether we were worthy of going on their quest. And we get my favorite ability, Dash. Yes. I'm sure I'm not alone in loving the ability Bash. So we do not need to do this lever yet, but we do need it later, so why not do it now? That will open the way for the Mouldwood Depths later on in this speedrun. And we go to meet Kwolok. And this will also get us our first wisp of the game. Skip the cutscene, and there we go, we've got the wisp. Now we're heading to the mill, so 27, about 28 minutes to get through to Kwolok. Now I told you I was going to collect one Kwolok ore, remember? This is the one right there. The reason I want one Kwolok ore is because you need one Kwolok ore to unlock the spirit well in the Wellspring Glades. And that's a really nice one to be able to teleport to, because it's nice and center. Teleport to or from, for that matter. Neat. Now, as you also mentioned, it might be good to buy an energy thing from Twillin. So let's see if we can buy an energy thing. Yeah. There we go. And have some more energy. Wellspring is the first dungeon. We already got the Wisp. Like every other area of this game, you get the Wisp after completing the area. The first one, you get the Wisp before you complete the area, which I find kind of interesting. We need to go down here so that we can get the grapple ability. Aside from being required, it also helped us go fast. Wonderful. There's grapple. I don't know why you would build a library in a mill. Just kind of a weird thing to do in general. A mill is not the place for libraries, in my opinion. Who knows? Maybe some of those exist in the real world, I just don't know. Run! Libraries are needed everywhere. Dip into the water for a second there. No pain, no gain. Uh-oh. Going well so far, this chase scene. Of course, the hard part of the chase scene is still to come, but still, it's nice to do the first part well. The hard part is this part, and this is a hard part because it's spinning, and that changes how you deal with things. But I apparently did it just fine. Not skip the cutscene. We have to watch the decay monster flee into the Luma Pools. Goodbye, decay monster. Oh, and the mill is done. 43 minutes, we're done with the mill. Next is finding Ku in the Silent Woods. So this is what I want. I want to go up here. And I'm going up here even though it's not on the path, because if we get this tree seed over here, we can unlock 25% more damage in boss fights. I mean, not just in boss fights, all the time. Oh man, I forgot that he gives you a branch first. This is a go back and forth quest. That's not as nice. But still, the 25% more damage might make the major boss fights in this game a lot nicer. So we're gonna go for it. Hello, Ku. Come out. And they rub their faces on each other. I think they made this moment in the game very well. Alright, Ku. Now remember, Ku, when you see Shriek, you hide. Don't remember... Yeah, we can skip that. So we skipped the worst of the cutscenes, the most painful of the cutscenes. Nope, don't look. Don't look. Ignore. Ku's just fine. Alright, Tree Seed. We're spending time on this, but I honestly think this is going to help. This is going to help in terms of speed on bosses enough that it'll matter. Certainly that would be true on hard. I don't know if that's true on easy. Alright, that's what we wanted. Now, let's put on some reasonable stuff. There, reasonable stuff. One of those things is reasonable because we need it to get into Baur's Reach, which is where we're going next. And let's wake the bear. Get in there, Ori. Alright, so now that we've woken the bear, the next thing that we need to do is drop a rock on his nose. Because he didn't wake up enough. There you go, bear. Wake up this time. Such a sleepy bear. And we get Spirit Burst. Spirit Burst is an excellent ability. I said Spirit Burst. Light Burst. Light Burst is an excellent ability because some of the things in the game you can just sort of skip if you have Light Burst. As is standard during my speedruns, my batteries always die. This is the moment that the batteries died in this speedrun, and luckily I planned for this and got some extra batteries up here. Hello, Shriek. Now, Shriek is dangerous. Let's run away. Also, there's an avalanche. And Ori just stands and looks at it for a little bit. Because Ori makes some mistakes in life. Oh, I apparently did not have my dash because I had already used it there. Whoops. Up. Avoid the spiky things. A pole flower that is not a flower. Bounce. Had to hang that one. Clearly you could get a little bit of benefit if you came here when you had Burrow. But it seems like only a little bit of benefit. Ignore the enemy. And the bear finally wakes up. If only we knew all it took was an avalanche to wake the bear. Aha, we got the Wisp. And we're 113 with the Memory of the Forest. Next, I'm going on to the Luma Pools. The next part is a series of bubble puzzles. And one of the things that we can do about these bubble puzzles is just completely skip them because we happen to have Spirit Burst. And when I said Spirit Burst, I meant Light Burst. That just avoided a giant bubble puzzle. And here's where we get Swim Dash. Wonderful. There's a whole lot of stuff to do in this room where you get Swim Dash, and we do not need to do any of it. We just leave. It's like, great, got Swim Dash, don't need to try it out. This is an emotionally heavy moment, and we cannot skip it. What is the game doing to us? there's the decay monster. Alright, I deem that terrifying. Let's run. Swim dash. And then this one we need to go over. Ignore the fish. Who cares about fish? And we are to the Kwolok fight. Alright. Now, I have no idea how hard this is on easy. Oh my gosh. It is a lot easier. That does a ton of damage. Holy cow. And the fight's done. Wow, alright. Now that is a very different experience on easy than it is on hard, let me tell you. I had so much trouble with that in my hard run. And we got a wisp. So an hour and 30 minutes. Now we need to get back to that spirit well that we saw. Why can't I warp to the spirit wells that I've been to? Hello? Game? Oh no. I think we've encountered a bug. Quick, exit, restart. Alright, now we should be able to warp, right? Yes, now we can warp. There we go. That was an annoying bug, but the turn it off and turn it on again strategy worked. Shoot at me again. A life cell fragment. Based on what I've seen in the bosses, I think that my focus on those life cell fragments might not be necessary, because whereas the bosses are extremely time consuming on hard, they are apparently very simple on easy. You might call them easy. So into the Mouldwood Depths. The Mouldwood Depths is a little bit annoying for a speedrun because you can't control how fast it is. You can't really control how fast the Mouldwood Depths all that much because you just have to go at the speed that the little light creatures go. Where's the right way? The right way is to the right. Oh no. That was my batteries again? That's not good. Now I actually need to go get a third set of batteries. I've recorded more than 100 YouTube videos. I have lost battery power almost entirely while I've been streaming and almost entirely while doing speedruns. Come on, little light. I'm eager to get this next ability. Let me tell you. Wonderful. So now we've got Flash. According to my notes, I should put on Flash, which is appropriate. Let's put on Flash. And I should use my map to figure out where I'm going. So I want to go to the left and then up. And I am going to get this life cell again. I think I might be going out of my way to get life cells too much, just because of the differences on easy mode, but I do like having them. So let's go for them. The easy ones, anyway. Come out wherever you are. Alright, go back in. We don't like it. The Mora fight was so hard for me the first time. I would love to see how this works on easy. I want to destroy Mora this time. What? We're already to the next phase? Wow. Alright. Oh, this is going to be so much easier. Now let's see here. We need to go up. Go up. Failed to go up. Oh my gosh. Grab on. Go up. There we go. Much better that time. Here, the next phase of the fight. And let's get some energy so that we can destroy this phase too. Oh. Got her. Alright, unfortunately. Alright, the energy came back just in time. And there's Mora down. Wow. That was much, much easier. Skip this cutscene. We've got the Wisp. So that we're at 149. And we've only got 2 more things to do. Get the last Wisp. And complete the game. And we get Burrow. Burrow is a fun ability. I like Burrow a lot. And basically, the rest of this space, the Windswept Wastes, is really just going up and to the right as much as you can. And down through this pot, we find another one of these. Please follow me better than the other ones did. You failed. You failed, Mr. Sprout. We will try your brother. Your brother failed too. How about your second sister? Oh my gosh. Come on. The family of these sprouts is so bad at following enemies. There we go. Hello, Seer. Let's go to the Willow. I agree. I think we should go sooner than later, as it were. And what was Seer about to say there? The only way there is through the Weeping Ridge? Was that the message? Because the Weeping Ridge is not, like, a terrible place, exactly. For being interrupted, I don't think she was about to say something that meaningful. Pull, not dash. Now we dash. And then we need to stay up at this part. Don't go too far down. Bounce. Alright, and I love this part of the chase scene. Hide. Then chase him. Yeah, pull. That was a pull. And then last bit. Wonderful. And I think that's a good time to do the split. So we got the heart. And now all that's left is the final dungeon and Shriek. I intend to beat that within an hour. I think that's very doable. But we get Launch. A ridiculous ability. Launch is basically Bash, except that you don't need a projectile. So, We're gonna have to put launch on that one, and let's put the bow on, because I think the bow might be very nice to have. The last dungeon, which bears a striking resemblance to the last dungeon in Ori and the Blind Forest. I really like how they did that, while making thematically it's much different. Because thematically, you're not in a volcano this time. But the way that the dungeon works is very similar. So I wonder what Spike does to this enemy. Let's try it. Spike did nothing. I mean, granted, it might have just hit one of the rocks. Yeah, it might just be hitting the rocks. Wrong button. Let's try to use Spike a bunch more. Nice. Yes, there we go. That's what I was hoping Spike would do. Can't use it anymore though. Use it a bit too much. I kind of feel like I could end this battle immediately if I could just get up and hit the thing. So that's what I'm trying to do. Got it. All right. Now, very close to the end. And I am going to stop by this right here, because getting my energy and health up will help. $223. So my prediction of beating this game in less than 3 hours looks like it's going to be much less than 3 hours. The achievement, by the way, is for 4 hours. Skip this cutscene. Alright, here we are at Shrink. Just like the other ones, how much does this do? Alright, I think we made it to the second part already. Second part is a chase scene. I have many movement abilities at this point, which makes the chase scene kind of fun, just seeing like how much more you can do now. Oh no! Oh no! I missed. Ooh, start the chase scene over. That's annoying. Oh well. Have to land on that so we can jump again. Jump, 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 dash, jump, dash. Something like that. Here we are at the next part of the battle. Ho-ho, I hit her while she was in the air. Ho-ho. Hit her again. The next part is already here. Okay. So the one problem here is that I can't use Spike anymore because I used it too much already. But now she's gonna land, I think she lands center first. Oh, actually she dived like that first. now, I might die. I did die. Alright, let's start this part over again. Except that this time I have enough energy for Spike. That might actually make the battle faster, having died. She lands there. She lands in the center. She lands over there. Then we need to be up. Can't tell where she's coming from. Okay. Somehow I won anyway. That was a very poor Shriek battle, but we won. And less than 2.5 hours. Wonderful. That was Ori and the Will of the Wisps in just under 2.5 hours for my blind speedrun, where I know very little about speedrunning this game, and I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. How fast I was able to go through that on my own strength, on my own knowledge. The only downside was having to switch out my batteries, because apparently 3 sets of batteries was not enough. I needed 4 sets. This is not the last that you will see from me for Ori and the Will of the Wisps. For one, there is a deathless run that I have still yet to accomplish. So I will be streaming a deathless run. It will probably take me a couple streams, and it may take me more than a couple attempts. Am I going to do another type of challenge that I haven't talked about? Not for Ori and the Will of the Wisps, not that I have planned. So the challenge runs that I intend to do for Ori and the Will of the Wisps are the speed run that you just saw, the shardless, lightless, hard run that's coming out next, and a deathless run. So those are the 3 challenge runs that I intend to do for Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Have I heard of, and would I ever try out, the Blind Forest Randomizer mod? I have not heard of it before. Randomizer mods seem really cool to me, so yeah, I would definitely try that out. I guess I would do that after Ori and the Will of the Wisps is all out. But yeah, I'd be very happy to stream a randomizer of an Ori game. That sounds excellent. So the way that randomizers usually work is that the items are swapped around. So like you wouldn't get the abilities in the same order. And places where you'd find Spirit Light are actually life cells, or life cells might be keystones. Moving the keystones around might be a little bit too much for a randomizer. That seems particularly hard to do for Ori and the Blind Forest. For Ori and the Will of the Wisps, it seems very doable because, I mean, other than I have no idea how difficult modding this game is, but in terms of just the practicality of it, there's a lot of times where there's a lot of different items that you can get, whereas Ori and the Blind Forest seems like a much more railroaded game. You're supposed to encounter the plot of the game in a very specific order, and all of the areas are like that. You must have this in order to go through this area. So, randomizer mod sounds hard to design for Ori and the Blind Forest, and sounds like it would be a lot of fun to try out. What was the hardest section of the speedrun this time? It was the Mouldwood Depths. The Mouldwood Depths, I got turned around kind of a lot, especially when trying to find Flash down there. So I would call that the hardest. I got turned around in the Mouldwood Depths, and that was one of the times that my battery died. So that additionally threw me off a little bit. But it really wasn't any of the combat. It was not knowing where to go next exactly. And knowing exactly where to go next is really important for a speedrun. I always thought the Maquis looked a lot like Ori. So the spirits, the design of the spirits is similar to the design of the Maquis. And I wonder if there's an in-universe explanation for that. Like, the form that the spirits take is based on the Maquis form. There's a theory that the Maquis could be decayed spirits. Oh, how interesting. I ran into one bug this time while playing through the speedrun. That could have been really poor, but the save and exit and come back in fixed it. So I'm very happy that that worked out for me. And look at how big Ku is here. Ku's gigantic, as you'd expect. Ku is the daughter of Kuro. And I think Gumo... Like, what was happening in that last scene? Was Nehru helping Gumo walk around? And then, if you haven't seen this, watch as it pans up. Look at the pictures of the characters in the tree. So Nehru's on the left, then Gumo, then Ku. I think that's a cool detail. And this brings us all the way back to Ori and the Blind Forest. The intro to Ori and the Blind Forest showed a leaf like this going off, and that's when Ori was born. And I did get the achievement, look at the time. So another achievement unlocked.